Well, it would help. Correct. Sorry. I made you problem.
Everything, boards and all that stuff, and everything, but
Okay. Watson, right, the white collar, she knows those. Yes.
no, we're doing cross.
Right, right, yes, sir. Because that could be made every day. So I wrote one Sunday.
I got you.
You're good.
And all that's up there.
Yes, sir, on the table. If you just failed, and I missed it, I'm so sad about it. I apologize for being that mean. I'm so sad about it. He knows what you are appointed to, but I appreciate your diligence in tackling to make sure that we all knew what to do. I just hate that I didn't personally witness it, but I just had to turn around to the aftermath.
Great crowd tonight. Always add to the excitement, and we welcome you to come to every board meeting. This is really, really good. So thanks for all coming. First item on our agenda tonight, guys, as we close out this summer, we get the opportunity to recognize some of our tremendous students who participated in some of our summer programs. At this time, I'd like to call Pine Level Elementary School's assistant principal, come on up and he's got a special presentation for our students. Students, if you don't mind, when he calls your name, just kind of line up across the front here, and we will be glad that you're okay with it. We'll get your picture and a picture with you. So turn it over to you, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Woodman. As Mr. Woodman said, I'm Dalton Watson. I'm an assistant principal at High Level Elementary. But this summer, I helped Miss McNider with the district through the summer learning. So I got to work with some of our ACTC students throughout the year. Our K-5 summer learning program was a huge success this year. We served nearly 300 students at 2 different sites. As you all know, we have a great partnership with our YMCA. And again, this year, through our Alabama State Department grant funding, they provided extended care and enrichment activities for the children who participated. Our all-day program improved student attendance, and plans for next summer have already begun. Our extended learning opportunity with the Autauga County Technology Center students, which started last year with 4 participating students. Through this year, we had 12 students participate. These students participate in the Early Childhood Preparation Program at the ACTC. And this past school year, that was led by Ms. Connie Rader. Ms. Rader retired in June, so then we recruited Ms. Stephanie Walters, who's a teacher at High Level, to help throughout the summer. The students started the requirements for the summer learning program in the spring. They worked alongside one another, preparing tutoring materials and learning more about how to assist struggling students in reading and math. And then once the summer learning started, they used their skills to work alongside of certified teachers in and outside of the classrooms. They were required to complete at least 100 hours in prep and on-site work, along with a reflection paper. Through this opportunity, they were able to experience what it is like to be an early childhood educator. We're excited that this opportunity continues to grow, and through a grant provided by the Alabama Department of Education, the participating students have already received a scholarship for completing the program, along with an elective credit that will go towards their graduation. Not all the students could be here tonight, but we would like to recognize all the participants. As Mr. Whippen said, if you'll line across the front when I call your name. Mr. Eli Anderson, Madeline Bott, Lauren Boyd, Montel Brown, Abby Hirota, Jordan Johnson, Laura Lowe, Ellie Majors, Lily McKinnon, Macy Roberts, Felicity Spears, and Miss Riley Turner. Thank y'all for all of your hard work and dedication that you put into this program.
Just real quick, now I heard we're vying for possible teaching jobs in a few years, right? Y'all come back home. Don't listen to all these other counties. You come back home, and we're going to get you hired. We appreciate y'all. Let's give them another big hand. Thomas, want to get a picture? Parents, you're welcome to.
I'm done, buddy. We got parents in the back getting pictures.
Great job, guys. Very proud of you. There's a lot of work that goes into that program. Mr. Watson, Ms. Erie, all of our administrators, everybody does so much. Nina did a great job with it. Students are proud of you. That's great. And like I said a minute ago, we hope you come on back with Autauga County. Our next item for receiving this information. Got the opportunity here, many of you know my background. I was at Harvey High School, and as a baseball coach, when we were first starting off, we were trying to figure out how do you raise money, how do you get this stuff done. And never forget, I used to pitch a lot back when I had more time, and somebody was telling me, man, you need to go to Mr. Herb Hoff. He's got the best rods around. So I go there to begin with to buy a rod of all things. And I'm sitting there talking to him, I was like, man, we got to figure out something to raise some money. Well, then Mr. Hoff, because he cares, I'm going to let you speak in just a minute, Mr. Hoff, but because he cares, he helps us out. And he goes, you need to call Mr. Sparrow with the Alabama Bass Federation. I saw him in here a minute ago. Guys, if you don't mind, I want y'all to come on up. And if you want to come with, Mr. Hoff probably needs you to keep him straight. That's right. But just a couple of quick things. Now, if you guys want to speak, be glad to do so. Just a couple of quick things about it though. This is year 19, and the parents did a great job. I see Dan and Meg Spires back there, and Coach Hall, and everybody did a great job with that fundraiser. It's now going on 19 years. On average, earned between $20,000 and $30,000 every year. You add it up, you're talking about almost $500,000 that these two gentlemen were instrumental. Again, he's running the weigh-in every day, so fishermen, if you're upset, and if we all get stuck, we call Mr. Hop. So guys, here's a token of our appreciation. I got one there, one back here. And if you don't mind, let's give them a big round of applause.
This wouldn't have happened if it hadn't been for the grace of God. He has granted us freedom in this country to enjoy His creation. And when you get out and see the sun rise on a body of water and the sun set, you've got to believe in the Almighty to create that. And that's what I try to get these children to do, is get out in nature. Because when you do, you're going to get closer to God, because you see His handiwork. Now, Jim, when we first started, Jim and I would go put tournaments on. We'd look around and say, where's the help? Oh, all we had was my wife and his wife. But we kept fighting it and doing better. Now, real quick life. I got a phone call, and this fellow said, hey, I'm Coach Wood. I need to talk to you. So he come over, and he's already explained. We sit down. I was president of Pine Level Bassmaster in District 8 for Alabama Bassmaster for Ray Scott. I told Lyman, I said, I'll handle it with the club, and you get the boys on your team to come and work the parking and the weigh-in and help. And to this day, several of those boys that helped went on into Marbury and started the Marbury High School fishing team. There's scholarships if you go that route. Did y'all know that? Let Jim say something about scholarships.
I put you on the spot.
First off, I say it has been 19 years, and I've been there for every one of them. But I wouldn't have been there if it hadn't been for the dedication of the students and the parents and the coach. It would never happen without your support. After the event, you do the fundraising, you coordinate with your sponsors, you show up and work out. And we get a lot accomplished in that Saturday, providing an opportunity for these guys to go out and fish and enjoy what they do. We're talking about scholarships. There are scholarships available. High school fishing is a big thing now. College fishing is a big thing now. But you can fish as a team. You can go through our federation, the high school. We run a junior and a high school program. You can qualify through those events to go through national and world final events and win scholarships. You get recognitions. College scouts are looking at all tournament programs out there. And I'm happy to say that several students who fished our high school trail have done very well in the collegiate event, and some of them are now fishing professionally. So it's an opportunity. If you like to fish and want to make a career out of it, consider you can. You got to be dedicated. You got to be for purpose events, and you just got to love to do it. And that's basically what I'm still doing it. I don't catch many fish anymore. I'm working these tournaments. In Walberg, 19 years, you're the longest running charity event that I've been associated with. And I congratulate.
That was your
Pass.
vision.
Yeah, you're great parents. I figured out real quick to get out of their way and let them have at it. So, Coach Hall, congratulations on you guys still doing it. Coach Lansdale, Mr. Palmer. You know, education's about community and working together to make it happen. And you know, couldn't have done it without you guys.
Thank you.
Appreciate the
Yes, sir.
opportunity to get started.
Actually, true story, 19 years ago, I still have it. And it's still just as good as it ever was.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Thank
You
you.
don't get used nearly enough now. Thank you, guys.
All right.
All right, members, at the next item on receiving information at this time, I'd like to call Ms. Amanda Tyler, to address the board. Hey, good evening. Ms. Tyler, just a reminder, we'll get, Ms. David, are we ready back there? And you'll have about 3 minutes to make the presentation. And, give us 2 seconds, we're gonna get it pulled.
He's gonna get it pulled up for you. Oh, sorry, yeah, you can go ahead.
I'm Amanda Teller, I'm the troop leader for Troop 9718 in Otago County. We have, daisies, which is kindergarten all the way up to 9th graders, and our cadets, which are 6th, 7th, and 8th grade, had a little project that they wanted to do. So without further ado, I'm gonna let them take over.
Hello, my name is. We are proud Girl Scout Troop 9718.
And we are trying to change the dress code of the public high schools. Many students are afraid of coming to school here in high school.
School is stressful enough without the added stress of having to worry about getting dress code.
And the dress code does not take students' height into consideration.
These are the changes to the dress code we ask you to consider. We want to be able to wear leggings and spandex shorts without having to wear a shirt when it comes to our paper tips.
We think this is a reasonable change because a bigger size of a shirt does not always mean that may be longer.
Some students are taller and shirts may not be able to reach their fingertip length.
Leggings and spandex are more comfortable for clothing than jeans and other kinds of basic shorts.
Leggings are also cheaper than jeans. A pair of jeans and a pair of leggings of the same size have drastically different prices.
We want to be able to wear jeans with holes that measure 4 inches above the knee.
Jeans are expensive. When jeans are above the knee, some families can afford replacement jeans.
We think 4 inches above the knee is reasonable since it is not close to the hips.
Also, it's hard to find jeans with holes 2 inches above the knee or even half holes at all.
We want to be able to wear shorts that are at least 5 inches from the torso. We want to change this because some students have longer legs and it is hard to find shorts that are mid-thigh.
5 inches is also more exact than mid-thigh. Lastly, we want to be able to wear tank tops with straps that are a minimum of 1 inch wide.
Tank tops are more comfortable to wear than shirts.
Here in Alabama, it can get really hot. A normal shirt can sometimes be too hot to wear in school events like field day. Students can get overheated and risk health issues.
We have a petition for the changes we have talked about today, which has almost 175 signatures. We've had more signatures since the last time we updated the slide.
Definitely 175 students, faculty, and parents who agree with the dress code changes.
This petition proves that many people want these changes to happen.
We hope you consider our changes to the Otago County School dress code. Also, if you want to see what our petition looks like, come see us after the meeting to scan.
Thank you for your time.
Well, first off, I want to tell you, great job. That was really good. You put it together really well. I wasn't keeping a timer, but I'm pretty sure you were right there on the 3-minute mark, so that was awesome. But I think this is an opportunity, and board members, I'm sure y'all want to say something now or at the end of one or the other, but, our country can learn a lot by how you just handled your concerns. There's always a process and a procedure with how things should be done. And, I think let me back up. So, were y'all the students that came to Dr. Addison toward the end of the year? All right, so we'll get off script here in a minute. I think it's important the public understands. So Dr. Addison called me. He goes, hey, I've got some young ladies who are wanting to do a petition. We were both. I was like, absolutely. That's the way this country is founded. There's a right way to express concerns. There's a right way to do it. He fully supported it. I fully supported it. I called some board members. I said, hey, there's going to be a petition. We were looking at some changes in the dress code. Now, y'all do know we made a couple changes, right?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, stay tuned Thursday, I'm gonna do a live stream, where we're gonna talk about it pending tonight's meeting. But again, I just wanna say, I'm proud of you for doing it the way you have, that's the right way to do it. Kudos to the parents that supported it. You know, I hate to ramble, but this is the way things are supposed to be done, so we appreciate what you did.
Thank you, we appreciate, you letting us do this and that, the girls learned the right way to change. Thank you, ladies.
All right, the last few things on the received information for members are some policy updates, these are proposed are in your packet. Policy 3.36, we're looking to propose changes to clarify language in the existing policy. Policy 5.04 clarifies how we are currently operating our in-district, out-of-district policies. To me, they're very clear, but there's been a couple of hiccups that we want to make sure we nail down. Policy 6.31, this will provide better guidance to schools as it relates to scheduling primarily for our seniors. These changes should help high schools avoid scheduling classes that aren't necessarily needed for the seniors. You know, we talked about this a little bit in the last board meeting. Dr. Marsh has put in a lot of work on this. The policy that's in your packet there for review is basically how other districts have tackled this issue. The policy will be adjusted to now allow for dual enrollment classes to be taken off campus, and that's where we had a major hiccup with our system and what we were inferring as the guidance that we were supposed to do. So I believe these changes in that policy will help us tremendously. It should help us not have to schedule needless classes. And again, I'm gonna speak as a dad. My daughter, she took a lot of dual enrollment classes last year, and they were off campus. But when she was not scheduled for the class, because you know your college classes are Monday, Wednesday, she literally sat in a computer lab from 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. and waited on varsity athletics, because that was how the policy was written. Now, this is not about her. I just saw it from a different perspective. We started this very early last year, so I think this will be much more, much better received with our parents and everyone. Policy 5.57, the changes here again to clarify, out-of-district payment is expected yearly. As you know, we have an out-of-district policy. We've communicated that this has to be done yearly. There's been a couple things pop up on questions for parents, so we just point blank put it in the policy and make sure that that's clarified. Policy 6.40, the update in your packet there reflects some of the changes that will be occurring with operations of Second Chance for the 25-26 school year. I will go into that in more detail when we get to the consent agenda. The next item on the list, I've asked Mr. Messick to come up and explain kind of where we are with our toggle student bus transition plan. You know, we've talked about this several times. I think the information Mr. Messick will give you a good update as far as ride times, things like that. Mr. Messick, turn it over to you.
Good evening. For the 24-25 school year, there were 5 regular buses and 1 special needs bus that transported students to and from Otagola School. For the 25-26 school year, we're looking at adding 2 additional regular route buses to help transport students to Billingsley and Prattville. 1 regular route bus will be added to transport to Billingsley. There are currently 11 existing Billingsley regular route buses and 2 Billingsley special needs route buses that will be used to transport students to and from Billingsley School. 1 regular route bus will be added to the existing 5 regular route buses and 1 special needs bus to transport students to Prattville. The 2 additional route buses will cost approximately $60,000 to $100,000 for the bus driver, fuel, and bus maintenance. What you see pictured over here is what we have done for our students that will be coming from Otagola going to Prattville. We'll be utilizing 6 buses. That hopefully will cut down on the students' time on the bus, as each bus will serve only 3 of the Prattville schools. Buses will be designated for PKS, PES, and PIS, 3 buses, and then 3 other buses will be designated for PPS, PJHS, and PHS because of the logistics of where the schools are located. Student time on the bus should not be more than an hour to hour and 5 minutes. Last year, 3 of the 5 regular Otagola route buses, students averaged about 50 minutes on the bus. Last school year, Billings Lady Bus 1427, it traveled about, to give you some comparison on time, route times and things, it traveled about 44 miles, and the students were on the bus for about an hour. Bus 1401, which is the Marbury Pine Level bus, it traveled about 28 miles, and students were on the bus for 50 minutes. A Toggable bus 2325 that went out to Fig Tree, it traveled 43 miles per trip, and students were on the bus for about 57 minutes. Those students that live at Fig Tree Drive, that will now be going to a Toggable, the distance is only about 3 miles further to Billingsley School than what it would be to go back to a Toggable school. Next week, we hope to finalize the Billingsley bus routes and finish up everything we've got as far as what we assigned to the buses. Does anybody have any questions?
So just to clarify, Mr. Messick, you and I talked a lot about, obviously, the distance is greater than what it was when the Toggable school was up. We all know that. So adding the route or 2 routes, yes, you're gonna have much smaller numbers on the bus, but it just cuts down the stops. So in your opinion, the ride time when you're evaluating that with other bus routes in the district is very low.
Yes, and based on our early data with power schools, the students that are requesting transportation, from a Toggable to Prattville, they're gonna average about 30 students per bus.
Thank you for the update. Board members, any questions?
After this year, would the state pick up?
Yes, sir. I'm glad you asked that. So there's been some confusion. All right, so some of our families in the talk, I've received several calls, hey, are you not providing transportation after this year? No, that's not correct. Transportation will be provided every year, for any time we're anywhere in the county. So, the confusion there was when we first started that process and we thought it was gonna be a priority school. In that setting, we would only provide transportation for 1 year. Once the decision was made for the school to close, it's no longer a priority school, so now it's our legal responsibility to transport students. So yes, I'm glad you asked that. We will be doing it every year. The second year, we should receive funding for the additional routes. We'll just have to fund it for 1 year. Everything's a year in the rear of the state. So again, feel good with the plan. I really like the numbers you're saying, especially when you compare to what we already were. So I know that was the main concern we all had, was we don't want students on the bus longer than they have to be. Now, I will caution everybody, I'm gonna say this in a call out when I do it later in the month. The first couple of weeks of school, guys, your bus routes, no matter where you're at, they're gonna be longer as you work out the kinks, and it'll get better.
A lot of drop-off traffic.
Yeah.
A lot of students won't start riding the bus for after the first 2 weeks.
We all breathe a big sigh of relief when about week 3 hits, because then we know who's gonna be on the bus, who's not, we can make some adjustments, so. All right, any other questions, Mr. Messick? All right, thank you, sir. All right, board members, before my recommendation for approval of the consent agenda, I'd like to get some information on a few of the items. Item number 3 contains a list of field and athletic trips. Item number 4 contains a list of items that are no longer in working condition and need to be disposed. Item number 5 contains a list of supplemental pay requests related to summer maintenance, other service to be provided. Item number 6 request approval for Prattville High School supplements that will be paid by the school. As you know, we've added fine art supplements, we've added a lot of supplements to get our teachers with the need. Prattville High School is so large, they do a couple other things that all schools can do. Prattville High School submitted that request to be able to take care of some other things. Item number 7, request approval to update policy 2.28. We've met on that extensively. That's our booster organization cleanup efforts. Item number 8, request approval to enter into agreements with several entities for special education needs. Item number 9, request approval for the purchase and installation of a multimedia video display board to be used at Prattville High School's gym. The display will serve as a multimedia board for athletic events and school functions as well. We're looking to see how this goes with this school. We will probably try to replicate that at our other schools, our other high schools, once we see how this works. The total cost of the unit is $56,081.24. We will use bond money, 2021 bond money to take care of that expense. Item number 10 contains a list of coaching supplement contracts for the 25-26 school year. Item number 11 contains the code of conduct for the 25-26 school year. I will pause there just for a second, point out a few of the changes. Again, pending approval, I will do some, live events where parents can ask questions. The major changes you're gonna see with the code of conduct, again, pending approval, we are revamping second chance, and we're revamping, specifically our Class B discipline procedures. In the proposed document, you will see some of the discipline will be spelled out. That's some of our biggest concerns from our parents was the 10 pending model that basically applied to all of Class C. There was some confusion there. You will see some things that have been typically referred to as a 45-day placement have been reduced down to 20 days, but I'm going to caution everyone, second chance is being revamped. There is no more short-term or long-term. Students are going to go back to what second chance was originally designed as. It will be very restrictive. Our hope with that is obviously when we look at the data last year, we built in the early release program when students would get a 45-day placement. Most of the students do what they need to do and got out at day 22, 23. So is it really worth all the hearings for the parents and everything that we have to do if the desired effect is occurring? You know, we've had very few repeat offenders. Now, what you will see in that mode is you will see progression in the ones that are listed as 20, 40, and on the third major offense, the principal can recommend expulsion or virtual school. You will also see some infractions that are still 10 pending, but that's because of the nature of the infraction. You just don't really know what you're dealing with. It can be very, very wide ranging what that behavior is. So I hope that brings some clarity with our families. I hope it brings some clarity with students. It'll be the board policy, again, pending approval. This is something that parents have asked me for 2 years. Again, as a principal in the district, this is something I always ask for as well. You know, just let parents know what's going to happen. I think transparency is the best way forward. Item number 12 is the approval of our wireless communication device policy, better known as the cell phone policy that you hear a lot about across the state. As you know, the legislature enacted the law that we have to abide by this. So what you will see in this policy is it basically copies the verbiage that AASB has recommended. Again, I'm going to add this to my presentation Thursday. We'll allow parents to ask questions. But long story short, what the policy is going to require is during the instructional day, phones must be off the student and it must be powered off. Now, there is some debate among other districts on trying to define what on person means. You ask 10 different districts, you're going to get several different answers. I would like to ease into that and train our kids and our parents, so the way we're gonna operate is on, off the person. It's gonna be in a book bag or purse or whatever. It just cannot be on the child. If it's on, that violates the law. And if there's something that occurs, we have to follow the discipline progression on that. So again, with that cell phone policy, basically the phone just cannot be on the student. They can't have it in their back pocket. They can't have it in their front pocket. It has to be off the person. The phone has to be cut off. There's provisions there that the state recommends on exceptions, obviously. But I think that's about as happy of a middle ground as we can be. Now, we all know cell phones are a problem, and we all know we gotta get better instruction, in the classroom to get students focused. I think that's why it's here. But again, one other thing you'll see there's only one infraction spelled out in your Class B, code of conduct. That is the cell phone policy. And again, the law says that you have to provide the consequences. My interpretation is tell parents what's going to happen. It's not broad. You need to let parents know. So meeting with the principals, we created a progression based on grade level. It's all going to be in there in first infraction, second infraction, third infraction. So I'm sure you have some questions there, but I can pause there on those two things. I'm sure you'll do that.
Glad to hear you with the parents and kind of spelling it out, but especially on the first week of school, I'm hoping the schools, just the reminders over the speakers, each teacher reminding kids of, just some of that unintentional and getting into a routine, and then reminding parents, because again, as a parent, a lot of times you shoot a text, you're not thinking, I wonder if my kids remember to turn off their phone and it sends off the being. I'm just trying to get everybody into this routine.
Yeah, no, I definitely favor at least the first week of school, trying to phase it in and then come in, week 2, especially with your older kids. I see some major challenges with it. Some of the most vocal people that I've talked to so far, especially our elementary parents that have gotten used to tracking their kids with the Apple Watches and all that. Again, we didn't write the law, we just have to abide by it, and, that's where we're at. So yes, to answer your question, you will see that first week, there'll be a lot of reminders, you will see schools clamp down that second week, and try to comply with the law.
Prior to classroom, like class time starts,
Okay, yeah, it's a great question. So the law spells out instructional day. Now, it does not get into before or after school. Meeting with our principals, we're gonna leave it to the base school as far as before school, after school with their handbooks. And the reason for that is, I originally was gonna say, hey, this is the way we need to do it. After talking to principals, it's just two different worlds. In your secondary world, I would be shocked if many of them are gonna really pursue the before, after school. They're older kids, they're gonna follow that. Talking about elementary principals, I did not know this, but in their handbooks already, it was you can't be on your phone while you're sitting in the bus line, because again, the kid's gonna miss the bus. So before and after that, the law does give some leeway for the base school principal. The law also, I think it's important, that's why I gave the principals a little leeway there. The law specifically puts the implementation of the law on the building level principal. So if the building level principal is gonna be the one responsible for the implementation and following up and all that, you've gotta give them a little leeway on how we're gonna implement it. But during the school day, as a principal, and I've said this at the last board meeting, when I was a principal, did I allow students on the phone in the lunchroom? Yes, the answer was yes. Did I allow them in class transitions? The answer was yes. The law specifically says it covers the lunchroom, it covers transitions. It is very cut and dry. So whether we like it or not, that's the law, that's what we gotta do now. Part of what we did with principals, we got principal meeting next week, AP boot camp next week. We're using specific examples to train our administrators on how to explain to their teachers with how to handle certain situations. For example, if a phone falls out of a book bag, is that a write-up? Well, no, it is if the phone is ringing, that's the law. So using some specific examples to hopefully bring some clarity, to this tricky situation. Yes, the law, I didn't even know this till talking to a principal. I don't mean this bad, I just think, y'all know me by now, I'm gonna tell you the honest truth. I had no idea, I guess there's glasses or something that you can work the phone or something, the law covers anything that transmits messages or anything that transmits audio, that's gonna include earbuds, it's very, the law specifically lays out all that, so that's gonna be part of the training. And again, I'm gonna do call outs, I'm gonna do some live opportunities for parents to log in and ask us questions. I'm gonna do all I can to try to be on the front end of it, because it's gonna be an adjustment. It's gonna be an adjustment for all of us. Yeah. It's gonna be an adjustment. Any other questions about the code of conduct or the cell phone policy? All right, item number 13, request approval for the winning bid from Advanced Roofing Solutions LLC to complete various roofing projects district-wide. The winning bid of $636,000 was the lowest responsible bid. The architect for the project is PH&J Architects. The bid tabulation sheet is in your packet. 2021 bond funds that we use to cover the cost of this project. Again, I've said this multiple times. We're trying to use every dollar that we get from the state with ATF funds to put back in our facilities, because our facilities are so bad. Very close, Mr. Mayor, Mr. Barrington's done a great job with this whole project, but I believe this last set of roofs will get us where we can now have a cycle. So anyway, just FYI there, I hope we don't have any more roofs coming to you, but again, we're very close. Item number 14, request approval of an extension of a supplemental pay request for services for a summer school teacher until July 18th, 2025. There are several students on the campus that need to complete access tests on the campus under the supervision of board employees, so this amendment fixes that. Item number 15 contains a memo to authorize the superintendent to locate and negotiate the purchase of property for beginning a countywide culinary arts program and to expand upon workforce training opportunities for special education students across the district. With that particular initiative, if we can locate the location and get an agreement upon offer, obviously pending approval. I would plan on ATO funds also being able to use that. I also feel very comfortable saying I think there's gonna be some grant opportunities as well. So, again, these projects, you haven't heard me say general fund, we're using what the state gives us to try to solve our needs. Are there any questions with the consent agenda as presented? All right, I recommend approval of the consent agenda as presented.
Board members, you've heard the superintendent's recommendation. May I get a motion to approve? A second? A second. Any discussion? All those in favor, please raise your right hand.
All right, at this time, I recommend approval of the personnel report as presented.
Board members, you've heard the superintendent's recommendation of the personnel report. May I get a motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
Second? A second. Any discussion? All those in favor, please raise your right hand.
All right, at this time, I'd like to call Ms. Wallace to come up to present our May and June bank financial statement.
So we'll start with, May. May represents our 8th month of our financial fiscal year. For the month of May, we should be at 67% of our budget. As disclosed in your snapshot analysis, we were at, 81%, which is really good, revenue-wise. Keep in mind, we are getting some extra state grants, like for the summer reading programs, and so those may impact on the revenue. Also, the district expenditures were at 64%, so we're operating within our means. You'll start to see those expenditures start picking up now, and matching, with those revenues, unless we start getting some of the supplemental funds that we're supposed to get earlier, and then when that happens, I'll explain the difference in that juggling. Our fund balance ended in May at 55.9 million. Our payroll for the month of May was at 6.7 million. Also in your board packet was your local revenue analysis. The local revenue collected as of the end of May was 18.4 million. That is 86% of our budgeted local revenue. May's collections was 1.3 million. Of the $21 million budgeted in local revenues, half of that is allocated to our required state matches for the foundation program, our capital projects, and our bonds. Any questions on May? All right, we'll zip right on into June. June represents our 9th month, which should be at 75% of our budget. At the end of June, we are at 90% of our collected revenues and 71% of our total budget expenditures. Our fund balance for June ended at 55.1 million. Our payroll for the month of June was at 6.7 million. Our local revenue collected was 19.5 million. Of that, June's collections was 1.1. We have now received 91% of our local revenues. And once again, we have those allocated for the aforementioned categories. Any questions about May or June? All right, thank you.
All right, at this time, I recommend approval of the May bank and financial statements as presented.
Board members, you've heard the superintendent's recommendation. May I get a motion to approve? Second? A second. Any discussion? All those in favor, please raise your right hand.
This time, I recommend approval of the June bank and financial statements as presented.
Board members, you've heard the superintendent's recommendation. May I get a motion to approve? A second?
Second.
Any discussion? All those, go ahead.
I do. Was Ms. Wallace going to present us some information on the student account? Was it next June?
I can?
Yeah, I need to hear this out loud.
I got you. So I'm gonna stand back here or walk this way instead of trekking over there. So earlier, a couple of months ago, we, Mr. Whitman came to me and said, let's find some ways to make our money work for us. We, decided to do a sweep account with Regions, who holds our main accounts at the CO level. The local schools have an opportunity to bank within the communities, but when you have the pots of money that we have coming in, we usually use a major corporation like that. So with that said, we reached out to Regions. We started doing a sweep account. And what that means is at night, they take our money in our bank account and they basically scramble it all overnight at a bunch of different bank accounts to see what can draw the most interest, and then they put it back into our account. So they do this on a nightly basis. It is all covered under the appropriate law that you have to have. We're required as a governmental entity to be under the SAFE Act. It's all there. So we have done this for 2 months. We do not have June's numbers yet. Yes, sir.
Tell us what we made all of last year before you give.
All of last year, not doing the sweep account, after all of my fees and stuff, we made 200,000 in interest. We've done 2 months, so we receive it a month behind. So for the month of May that we received in June, we got 200,000.
So
For the
in 1 month,
We got
we
what
did
we got all
what
last
we did
year.
the entire year.
Yes, sir. So we're gonna continue this program. Obviously, it's what works best. It allows us to make our money work for us. So therefore, we'll have the opportunity to have some, initiatives or put into the programs that we've already got that we need to add to. Hopefully, it will also help eliminate that burden. Keep in mind, we get that a month in arrears. That's staying in an account, so that 200,000 that we just received is now adding to that pot so that we can continuously do that. We're gonna keep an eye out on it, and then we're gonna look at eventually sliding that into a separate account and not in my general fund. Still allowing it to roll in, but I would really like to keep that in a separate account, just so we can dedicate it as that builds upon things. So we're gonna monitor it. Like I said, it'll be a year before we can really see what our outcomes will be, and what that will look like for us. So yes, that was good.
Good work.
Well, thank you, Mr. Woodman.
Any other discussion? All those in favor, please raise your right hand.
All right, next item on the agenda, board members, recently you authorized me to receive proposals from individuals that would like to purchase property that the district has available. I've met extensively with Mr. Marquise Torres throughout the last several months. I think he can tell you too, we talk a lot. But he has submitted a proposal to purchase the former Ottawa School property. This proposal is in your packets. I've asked Mr. Torres to present to you guys what he is thinking about doing with the property. Mr. Torres, thank you for coming.
Thank you for the opportunity to present. First and foremost, I stand before you as a servant of my community. February the 12th, 2025, 6:05 p.m., I was at this same podium and I presented, and I thought other people would address, but I was the only one to address my love for my community, my love for my dear Otagoville High School, home of the Eagles, and that decision that night was made to close the school, and the 2024-25 year will be the last year for Otagoville High School. To be honest with you, I left defeated, but before I left, I had a conversation. The conversation was with Mr. Wolfen and board member Kyle Blow. I gave them all I can give them. They know that. They know that. My family is here. I give honor to God where I am right now. My family, my Young Rain industry family, my family in Otagoville that raised me, my family that raised me. I couldn't go out of the vibe and just sit by out of it and say, hey, that ain't my issue. I don't have no children go there. But I had some team members that actually came to me and said, what are you gonna do? And so they put the ball in my court. I turned around and put that ball back into the Board of Education court. And let me tell you, we went from shouting matches, Texas, late at night. Every meeting that they went to, I went to. I'm board members. I'm vice chair in the private chambers, area chambers of commerce. So they would come in and have different meetings, and after the meeting, guess what? They got another meeting with me. And so we was on. So anyway, with that being said, I want to share my Otagoville community resume. I was born and raised by a single parent, Jessie Obetta Atkins, who worked her entire life in Otagoville. Otagoville, majority of my family still lives in Otagoville. This is home. I graduated from Ottawa High School, class valedictorian. I made good on a promise to return home. I turned home with a group of amazing people. In 2015, we started M-Ring Industries, proud producers of 1186 real artesian water. I don't need to introduce this. This is in everybody's house. Not only is it in everybody's house, it's the official state water of Alabama. My team and I came and overcame countless obstacles to gain status of a successful company. In the process of doing that, we made sure that we included the community of Ottawaville. With that being said, over 70% of our team members are from Ottawaville. 70% born, lives, or have some type of connection with Ottawaville. Our company drives our local economy model. Our focus has always been on revitalizing the community. 1186 Fall Festival, Ottawaville Class Reunion Sponsorship, Ottawaville Lions Club Member and Partnership, 1186 Food Drive, partnership with Heart of Alabama Food Bank, 1186 Fireworks Show, 4th of July. These are all free events that our company gives back to the community without pay, without any strings attached. With the closing of Ottawaville schools, the promise became more concrete. I attended countless meetings. I pushed the envelope with many town leaders, not just these guys, but even the town leaders, landowners. I researched countless options. I have been to private schools. I have been to charter schools. I have been to other areas where a closing of a school put a community in darkness. I have seen, I got college classmates up in North Alabama where a school closed and 2 years later the town doesn't even exist anymore. I heard them preach to me and said, by any means necessary, Mr. Ford, you need to put your best foot forward because your town will leave. I pushed the envelope. Last and not least, I pushed the envelope with Mr. Woodfin. I called Mr. Woodfin every day, Monday through Friday, except the week he went on vacation on a cruise.
I can't confirm that.
And he told me before he left, he said, listen, Mr. Ford, I'm going on a cruise and my phone is not gonna work. I said, when will you be back? He said, Monday. Monday it will be. I will send you a text and say, give me an update. Where are we? With that being said, Mr. Woodfin and I remind me of a very famous scripture, Proverbs 17:17. A friend loves at all times, and a brother is born for adversity. Our community, our people, our responsibility. We've been putting it on emails for how long, Mr. Brickhouse? Since we started. We didn't even know what we was doing. At the bottom of our email, we would put our community, our people, our responsibility. Well, those email signatures came from the depths a couple months ago. These are our plans. M-Ring River Association, which is a nonprofit organization of M-Ring Industries, which is an arm of what we do. We'll embark on the task to keep a school in the Ottawaville community. This will be more than a school. This will be a private Christian school. It will involve a Head Start that we lost several years ago. It will involve a pre-K, and we will start out with a K-6 model to start with. This school will also have a family life center to help support families on counseling and parenting. Not only that, my favorite, we will have a workforce development wing, going to help the community learn how to go to work and how to be a great citizen to society. These actions will give Ottawaville the opportunity to build back better than ever. Solidify the future for many future generations. This is what we will do. This is what this act will do for us. Mr. Lyman Woodfin, Ottawaville County Board of Education, these are our plans. Our legal team have presented a previous offer to your board to accomplish this purchase transaction concerning the entire property known as Ottawaville School System to the Board of Education. I'll leave you with this. Isaiah 40:28-31. Have you not known? Have you not heard? the everlasting God, the Lord, the creator of the ends of the earth, neither faints nor is weary. His understanding is unsearchable. He gives power to the weak, and to those who have no might, he increases strength. Even the youth shall faint and be weary, and the young men shall utterly fall. But those who wait on the Lord shall renew their strength. They shall mount up with wings like eagles. And that's our master. They shall run and not be weary. They shall walk and not be faint. Thank you for the opportunity to present.
Board members, do you have any questions for Mr. Ford?
And now, I've been on it, so you know.
Oh, by all means.
Don't act like you don't have any questions.
I do have comments.
Yes.
Okay, but I wanna wait
Okay.
until after the vote.
Mr. Ford, thank you.
Thank you.
Board members, some things you need to know as it relates to Mr. Ford's proposal. Contrary to what people believe, I am not, and nor are you, anti-private school or charter schools. That's not how we operate. But one thing that has popped up through this, Mr. Ford was not lying. He and I have talked a lot every day. One thing that I need to legally tell you guys that has been resolved. Our legal counsel emailed us that we have met all requirements with the Charter Law Alabama Code Section 16-6F-11. This law states that charter schools that serve our students get the first right of refusal for property being sold, and according to our legal counsel, we have met all requirements for the law. For everybody in attendance and everybody watching, what I mean by that is when you're a public school entity in the state of Alabama, if you have a building that you are no longer needing, and you work out an agreement with a private individual, before you can get to that part, the charter schools have to, they get first right of refusal. So if in this case, if you guys accept Mr. Fortin's proposal, what that really means is we had to make sure that charter schools also would not take the proposal that he has presented. So again, we're not anti anything. I just think it's important the public knows there's a lot of little layers like that that complicates things, that makes it very difficult. So this process has been long because there has been a lot to it. And I see Mayor Stoudemire in the crowd. I'm gonna give you a shout out as well. We had to work through some other issues with the property, and I appreciate what you did to make this even possible tonight. So I appreciate you as well and the town council. But with all that being said, board members, I recommend that the board authorize the superintendent to execute the proposed purchase and sale agreement.
Board members, you've heard the superintendent's recommendation. May I get a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second? Second. Any discussion? Mr. Glover?
Well, I'd really like to take a vote and make a comment.
Okay, yes. All those in favor, please raise your right hand. Everybody. Unanimous.
Okay, I'm gonna stand up if it's all right. I'm not sure that everybody understands the decision that was made and how hard that was. Because I knew Jeremy and Erica that had been here, and I'd given my word that I was going to do everything possible, and I did. And we came to the best decision for the students of the Carterville. It was the best decision. It wasn't understood by all. It wasn't meant to be understood by all, obviously. And in that time that passed, Eric and I have had a chance to have a conversation. But in that time, there were many days that I could not talk about this. There were many things that needed to be said at certain points, and they couldn't be said. I know him, and I knew him at night. I know what he's capable of. And what he is going to give to his family, and to a Taulterville in this county, is a pot of gold at the end of that rainbow. We talked about that. That means something to me. It means something that we have put the education system in the hands of the people of Taulterville, with a leader that loves Taulterville like he loves his family. His track record is there. This is the happiest day. It's the happiest. If y'all tell people I've been up here crying, I don't care what they say on TV. That's not it. These are tears of joy, because we have worked and we have sweated and we have tried to bring this about the right way. And I could not have handpicked a better person to lead this forward than Marquis Stores. And I appreciate your friendship. Thank you.
Just to be clear on everything, now we'll effectively move into a closing process where the board attorneys, Mr. Forge, his attorneys, and I will work to close out the selling of the property. Board members, I do want to thank you for providing a path forward where we keep an educational component in the town of Taulterville. That's monumental. And Mr. Forge, not to put you on the spot, but I appreciate the kind words you said with me and the board. I look forward to working with you hand in hand. If you read the news, I'm not particularly fond of the CHOOSE Act. This is an example where the CHOOSE Act can drastically help you in the town of Taulterville, and that's the reason that it was put in place. So I appreciate you. I appreciate your friendship. This is not the end of the road, but I will tell you what's going to change, sir. No, you call anytime. But I'm gonna be calling you now. Hey, where are we at with this, Mr. Ford? And last thing I want to say on this, several of Mr. Ford's families here, guys. I don't know how he's. I'm laying in bed last night at 9:15. Hey, you got him on it? Yes, sir, I do. I don't know when the man sleeps. So you got a great team around you, and very, very blessed to remember some of the meetings we've had in Taulterville. And again, Mayor Steinmeier, I want to tell you thank you too, because there was a big hurdle there that we've all had to work together to overcome. And I appreciate you and the town council and the attorneys and everybody. So let's get it done. That's the quote of the last 6 months, right?
It's on
3
him.
months, really.
It's on him.
That's right. That's what we call it. Well, thank you. I'll get aside. I appreciate it. But again, what this does is in the true spirit of education, where it's going in the state of Alabama, families in Taulterville will have a choice. We're going to provide the best education possible on our end, and if they get the school going and families choose to stay in Taulterville because of the drive and everything, you have that option. And to me, this is what the legislature did all along. So I appreciate you, my friend.
Thank you.
All right.
And Mr. Fortune, you're talking about Head Start pre-K, you're pulling at my Marshall. Putting those all in one early childhood center here. I'll help you with that. You
Yes,
call
ma'am.
it. Board members, as many of you know, I just accepted a position as the Executive Director of Voices for Alabama's Children. And their policy is that you can't hold an elected position. So tonight, I'm going to submit my resignation to the board. This is very bittersweet because I am from this county and my children went to school in this county, and I think this is the best school system in the state. And I think it's the best board in the state. And Mr. Whitman is the best superintendent. So I'm going to be watching from afar, and I'm still here as a resource if you need me. But I'm officially submitting my resignation.
I will jump in. I hate to hear it. I know we all do. But buddy, let me tell you, with her position she's about to have, when people get that phone call from Dr. Stritchett of what's coming, you might want to take it and do what she said. I can't wait to see how well you have to do for our kids. And I appreciate you.
Thank you.
All right, board members, can I get a motion to accept Dr. Stritch's resignation?
As much as I don't want to.
I'll make a motion to accept. Can I get a second?
Second.
Any discussion? We're gonna miss you.
I'm
We
here.
appreciate all the hard work that you put in the last 3 years, yes, but we're really proud of you. All right.
we have to have board reconstitution. May I have a nomination for chairman?
Mr. Jamie Jackson.
Are there any other nominations for the position of chairman? All right, nominations are closed. All those in favor of Ms. Jackson, raise your hand. Right. All those opposed? All right. Now may I have a nomination for vice chair? Are there any other nominations for the position of vice chairman? Nominations are closed. All those in favor of Mr. Glover for vice chairman, raise your right hand. Mr. Glover will now serve as vice chairman as well for next year. All right, on the heels of all this, I know the next question everybody's gonna ask is, how do you go about filling the seat? And, to be honest with you, I wasn't really sure, so I called ASB, and, Mr. Reed Wainwright, I saw him in here earlier.
Yeah.
He's here. I've been speaking with ASB, board members, they gave us a, recommended timeline. Basically, you have 30 days to get someone in. Mr. Wainwright's here to answer any of the questions that you may have. But after speaking with them, I recommend a proposed timeline for the board to appoint a replacement for Dr. Stritchen as follows. July 17th through the 23rd, you will accept applications. July 24th, 25th, review the applications. July 28th, conduct interviews, and then at the regularly scheduled board meeting for July 29th, we will accept recommendations. Now, we will be putting out a notice. That board meeting was originally scheduled for 8 a.m. It was more of a personnel type deal. We will be moving that to 6 p.m. with this change. Do y'all have any questions for Mr. Wainwright or any?
Is there, on the application, is it something y'all provide, or we coming up with an application? Is it?
Yes, we can help provide with an application for that and that process. The director of our leadership development there is Janice Stockman. She's down at Mega Conference right now. And I told her that I would come here. She asked me about it here because I wanted to show up in support of just how diligent y'all are to do this process correctly. And even though I know there's not any questions, I don't want to turn my back on anyone. I want to compliment Mr. Wood on the accuracy of the policy that was just implemented on July 1st. And the way that y'all are following procedure and doing things properly. And I know you have a great board attorney, Bill and Carter. But I want to compliment you as far as the process that you sought out, Mr. Woodfin sought out, and how we set up guidelines there based on the law. And it's 1686 of the Code of Alabama, where it dictates just how, when there's a vacancy, how a replacement is made. And Mr. Woodfin has done a very thorough job to make sure this goes properly. And it means a lot to me to be here and to answer any questions that you may have, because my dad retired from transportation. He was down in Otagoville. They used to have a school bus garage in Otagoville. I used to go down there. He retired and to see him. Of course, they moved it here. Now my brother drives a bus. He's also a nurse, so you get kind of a dual role there, Mr. Messick. And so it means a lot. When Janice asked if I would come here, I was so happy to be here. And the other thing that I was very happy to see is just how diligent they are to make sure they do it right, based on Robert's Rules of Order, and based on the Code of Alabama, and based on the Alabama Administrative Code. It's been extremely impressive. And with my dad retiring from the Board of Education, it just meant it was so wonderful to see. So when she asked if I would come, I said, absolutely, I'll be here. And so if there's any questions as far as with the application process, as far as how it's worded and how it's submitted, Ms. Stockman is very good about guiding you through that. We bounce things off of each other. I've been out of state I was operating a law practice in Dallas, Fort Worth for a little over 20 years. And I've just gotten back here and got hired for the Alabama Association of School Boards, and it's a great team over there. And we have a policy pipeline that's coming out on Thursday, which I'm sure Woodland is already up to speed on, actually. You explained that cell phone policy a lot better than me, so. If there's any questions or anything but I want to give everyone assurance that they have very good attention to detail, and anytime there's ever any issue, they seek advice, and then they have a great board attorney with Hill and Carter as well. I mean, they're one of the measuring sticks of education law also, so. Any questions?
We appreciate that, and board members, like Mr. Wainwright said, with Ms. Stotman, we spoke earlier today, we should have everything on the website tomorrow. It will more than likely, congratulations, Ms. Jackson, as the new president, all the applications will funnel to your email. Obviously, with this process, you are my boss, so I will not have anything to do with the process. It will go to Ms. Jackson. Y'all will review the applications, and we'll have everything online tomorrow, once we nail down a few more things with ASD. So it'll be an open process. Last I spoke with you guys, I believe we're looking at public interviews as well, correct, on the 28th. So again, it'll be very transparent. So I commend you for that as well. Any questions on any of that?
Just, we will have an open pipeline with Janice.
Oh, yes, sir.
Yes.
Yes, absolutely. All right, just a couple more quick bullets before we close out tonight. I do want to invite everyone to the A+ banquet on July 28th at 6 p.m. at the Marriott, hosted by the Autonomy Education Foundation. My plans may have changed just a little bit then with this process, but just a little background on that. Can't say enough great things about the Education Foundation and the Chamber of Commerce. This fundraiser is basically what funds a lot of the grants that our teachers get for their classrooms and principals with their schools. So I highly encourage, if you want to come to the meeting on the 28th, it's a discussion about football with Wesley Britt. Some of you Alabama fans may remember him. Auburn fans, maybe not, but Alabama fans. But it's a really good presentation, and I highly recommend it. If you want to come to the event, all the information is on the Chamber's webpage. I see Ms. Searles out there. Contact her if you have any questions. But really good thing. It does a lot of good for our community. Also, like I said earlier, I will be reviewing the code of conduct and the new cell phone rules on Thursday at 2 p.m. The plan is to do a live stream event, as Tom's correct. I will rest assured I'm not doing anything with technology, Ms. Hicks. Ms. Thomas is going to do that. She'll tell me where to be. But basically, it'll operate like we always do. You know, I won't script the questions. I'll answer as many as I can, and I'll go through the stuff and try to give you real-world scenarios on everything in the policy.
And we plan to get that link out tomorrow where you could submit questions ahead of time.
The link will be out tomorrow if you want to submit any questions beforehand. And again, if you log in that day and have a question, fire away. We'll do the best we can to answer it. Last thing on my end, as we get ready to start next school year, we're asking our families to go ahead and complete the returning student registration. If you remember before, these all used to be in the back of the code of conduct, and if you're like me with 5 kids in the system, your wife got upset with you because she was at the table for an hour and a half filling out forms. We still have the forms if you want forms on the first day of school, but everything's moved online. I can tell you again from personal experience, if you do the online forms, it is drastically quicker, so you'll save a lot of time. But we ask our families to do that, and again, if technology is an issue, we will get part of it on the first day. Are there any questions with anything in the superintendent's report? All right, thank you.
There being no further business, may I get a motion to adjourn?
So
Second? All those in favor, please raise your right hand. Meeting adjourned.